Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel, and today we're in part 3 of walking the Cotswold Way. Now in this video we're going to be starting off where we left off in part 2. So if you want to find part 2, just drop below in the description and you'll also find part 2 a link to. Now whilst you're in the description, I've now made up chapters. So all you have to do is drop down the left or the right side to the description and you can open the box up. And you'll see it all down the bottom, different parts of the video, so you can actually go from where you want to. And I'll actually tell you exactly what that little section's all about. Well, only a small bit I can. Please subscribe and please share. Anyway, we'll get right on with the video. Once again, you catch me climbing a hill. Now, if you want to bring your bike down this way as well, you can. Because this is a bridleway, it does make it easier for you guys to actually bring your bikes. So it is a great bit of terrain for this type of thing. And I just love it. The only bit I don't love is this, going uphill. Because at the moment, even on my bike, I've got to get up and walk it. So this particular route is a very, very easy route. Now, it isn't a lot in miles, but it's more hills. So we're talking about, it's going to be, I would say this route would take you an hour to an hour and a half. It's the hills that slow you down if you're well fit. Now, if you're going to come on these trips, you do need to be a little bit fit if you're going up hills, obviously. Now, not being funny, it is a lot of the gentry of the village, they'll walk up here like it was no tomorrow, because they've been doing it for years. So I've nearly reached the top. It is a bit tiring. Now, coming on these walks, 1 or 2 people have said to me about a question and answers. So I might do that on one of these walks, because it's probably, the only trouble is I can't really do question and answers up a hill like this, because A, I'm out of breath and it don't look too good. Some old boy out of breath, looking as he's pegging himself over, answering questions. You got any questions you want to ask, pop them down below the video. Now, Mrs. Crazy Baker said to me, Steve, don't tell jokes on YouTube, because you've got one of those personalities that some people probably wouldn't understand my jokes. So I just be myself. So if I'm being funny, I'm being funny and I don't really know it, because someone said to me the other day, you're a very funny bloke. I don't know how you've seen that. I don't see it, but you guys obviously do. You know, might be the accent that have something to do with it. No, we're not down in the deepest heart of Cornwall. We're in Gloucestershire. So, and the funny thing is, it's like the village. Now, Prince Charles come to the village to open the shop. How cool is that? Well, what they don't know is the Queen came as well. But the problem is they didn't recognise her. The problem with the locals, they hadn't realised that they see them every day of the week. Well, it's a post office, isn't it? I mean, in the old days, you used to lick the back of her head. Okay, I know, that's probably one of the oldest jokes in the book. Yeah, but they always say it's how you say it, isn't it? I don't want to be like my dad. My dad used to tell jokes like nobody's business. My dad was a Londoner, so you can just imagine the type of jokes he was telling. He'd stop you in the street and he'd tell you a joke. And I'm not like that. I don't tell jokes. I'm not very good at telling jokes. I am the joke. I'm usually the back of the joke. This particular recipe I've done, yesterday I've done a remake of Chelsea buns. But what I did is, interesting enough, is I've made Chelsea buns at home, the dough. Then I took it to the bakery and I made the bakery ones up. So basically it's like home bake versus traditional baking. So I put the two products together at the end and you can see the difference. There's not a lot in it, to be honest. I mean, most people say, well, it looks the same. Well, it probably would do. It's all down to the person who's doing it. So that's one of the videos I got. So it's all a home baker's video, so it's pretty easy. Now today, I made pineapple donuts. Once again, the dough I made at home. You've seen it before on Blue Peter. This is the bit we've done earlier. Yeah, that's exactly what I did. So, because I think it's better for you to see me at home making the dough up, or making a cake. And then a lot of people ask me, Steve, I want to see a bit more of you in the bakery. Well, the problem is with the bakery, by the way, I'm going up a hill here, guys. I'm out of breath. Yeah, so the only thing with making it in the bakery, any type of video, it's such a big place, it echoes. So it's like a drum. Well, I'm getting carried away talking to you guys. I've got two trails here, left and right. Now, we need to go up this one. Saying that, I can't remember the last time I come up this trail, to be honest. It's got to be four or 5 years ago. So I'm guessing I'm going up onto the top. I'm calming down a bit now. I'm getting used to this idea of chatting and walking. Originally, when I planned to do these walks, I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. And in my next episode, I'm going to be going up to Smallpox Hill, because a lot of people asked me in the last video, said, Steve, what's this about Smallpox Hill? And I said, yeah, well, we'll go up there and we'll show you all about it, because obviously there's a bit of a long story to go with it. Well, it's like a lot of things I do, there's always a long story. That'd be one of the videos. Well, I know some people now that have been unemployed for over 12 months. They haven't done nothing. I said, what have you done? I said, oh, we've been watching you, Steve. What? Yeah, we just like watching your YouTube channel and we've been doing practically nothing. I thought, yeah, that's extreme, you know. So I said to them, I'll have to start doing a keep fit video, and then you'll see me working out, and perhaps that'll encourage you to do a bit of working out at home. But Mrs. Crazy Baker put a stop to that. She said, no, Steve, you and Likers don't work. You know, you want to keep your subscribers, you don't want to put them off. So the only time you'll see me in a Lycra will be when I'm on my bike. We're up on the top now. Well, this is the path we just came down. And then over here is another bridle path, which you can also come up this way as well. And we come around this way and you can see all the bluebells down in the wood. And you probably hear this road. Now, we're going to be crossing this road. It's very, very dangerous. It's on a slope and also it's on a bend. So when you cross it, you have to sort of run across very fast. It's one of those ones. The drivers won't see you. They'll take you out first. Well, I've managed to cross the road safely. As you can see, the traffic coming up here is like, it's stupid. I mean, they drove like bat out of hell. Well, we've reached our destination. Now, across here is Uley, and that takes you where we went the other day. It loops round the top. It's just straight round the top. Then this one drops down, and you can see the top of the hill here. And we're going over there. You can see all the bluebells. That's where we're heading, over to this hill. Now, this is a car parking area for you guys. So if you drive up and you park here, it's Coaley Wood at the top of the hill. Then the important part is that if you leave your car here, it can get pinched. So I'm just warning you. You know, most little villages have them, whereas you can park your car up, you can leave them all day, and then come back and find it's missing. Now, the best place for you to park your vehicles is down in the village, on the side of the road or round by Prima Arts. it's the safest place to put your vehicles. Up here it's small, and on a Sunday it's jam-packed full. So you'll be thinking, well, where am I going to park my car? Look, even now, look, see? People just turn up, park their cars, and then they go for their walks. Anyway, we'll get on with this little walk, and we'll ponder on down the hill. Best bit about the hills, as I said previously, best part, going down the hill after going up one. Okay, we've now got an obstacle, haven't we always? It's a gate. This is all brand new stuff. Last time I come up here, we didn't have any of this. So, remember guys, respect the countryside when you come out to these places. Make sure you shut the gate behind you. Now look at that for a view. Now, this is your trail, so you can carry on down this one, and this takes you up onto Coaley picnic area. This one drops down. Also, if you keep going, it'll take you down to Foster. And then this one where we're going, no, we're not dropping off the edge here, guys. This is basically the view to take in. They just need to cut this tree down over here, and I'm sure enough they're going to do it. But that view, you've got the Severn, and if you look far enough over, you've got the top mountains of Wales. In fact, in some places, we used to sit up here with our CB radios back in the day, and we talked to people in Abergavenny, and that's some distance. And you can see the hill with all the trees on the top. Yeah, okay, it is small in the distance. Now that's almost over towards Ross-on-Wye, so give you some idea. And then you've got all the Severn that runs round. You see Arlingham Bend down there. And look at them clouds. I could get wet. Right, we're going to start walking down the hill now. It's a good little bit of exercise. I'd sooner be coming down here on my mountain bike. I definitely wouldn't like coming down on my gravel bike. This farm you can see in the distance, we're going to be going by the side of that in a minute, and that takes you up onto the top of Longdown. You can see bluebells all over the place. There's some down here as well. Now this is a trail, once again, you can take your mountain bikes, walk, or take your horses. That's where we just come down. And believe me, when you go up it, you have to be fairly well fit. And we're going to wander on down here. Now the important part about coming out into the countryside, from you guys which are out there in bricks and mortar, out in London and wherever you come from, you have to respect our countryside. Now we're brought up to shut gates behind us, do things that you're supposed to do in the countryside. Another important thing is, like when we were kids, you didn't have this problem with dogs being let off leads. You naturally done it, because in the old days you wouldn't get many people from outside the area come into it, so we don't have that problem. But these days we get people coming, outsiders coming in, they just throw their dogs out there with no leads and they run riot with animals. So you have to respect the animals, whether it's sheep, cows, whatever. You just got to watch them, because I know from experience, I used to have a sheepdog, and the same principle was, I let my sheepdog out into a field with sheep, and she's chasing the sheep round, herding them up. Now, it wasn't supposed to do that. It was naturally in it. It was natural for that particular dog to go round up sheep. The weird thing is, also in the back of where I used to live, we had a field. So I used to take the dog for a walk. Oh, don't get me wrong. The dog sees a cow and it runs a mile. You know, so what's that all about? It'll run up and round up sheep, but see a cow and suddenly my dog's heading out the other way. It's gone. Well, this is what the countryside's all about, guys. There's some sheep for you. Now this is a different variation of sheep to what you normally get. I guess they're a different breed. I'm not into sheep, so if you know what these sheep are, pop it down below the video and let me know what they're called. I know you guys that live in the bricks will probably say, yes Steve, they are just sheep. I think I get the drift. And over in this other field, this is actually different types of cow. So like you get different types of car, you get different types of cows as well. So we'll carry on going down this path. Now this young lady across the road here with her farm, she's actually got award-winning bulls. And this is her field here. Now we can see Cam Peak in the distance. And there's your long down. And you can see all the Bluebells on the side. And this is special cows here. Look, you can see the little ones in the field. Look, see those little ones? And then we're going to go up the hill over here. Well, I'm going to apologise for the sound now because I think it's going to be a bit blowy, but needless to say, we'll go with it. Now, this road going straight down here, this takes you to Far Green Coaley. Then this is the road we just came down, and up the top there is the path. So we've actually come from right up the top there, down along this path, and now we're heading towards Dursley. And this is your signposts. So you got a footpath here which you can follow. Now the Cotswold Way is wonderful because it goes all over the place. So if you've got a map with you, or one of those little devices which I carry, which I never use, it's in my pocket but it's there, you can actually know exactly where you are. And over here, Smallpox Hill. See, wherever you go, the hill's there, but apparently it's called Down a Mill, allegedly. I didn't know, that's new to me, so I learned something every day. I've been here all these years, I didn't know what it's called. I've only known it as Smallpox Hill. So we'll get over the stile. You can take your dog through one of these little pull-up things. And we're now venturing up the hill. As you can see, this is quite a steep little hill. Once again, you can bring your dogs if you want, but you do have to keep them on leads, and you do need to clean up your mess after you, if you know what I mean. But this to take you right up onto the hill, so you can either go around the outside, which we're going to probably do that, or go up onto the very top. Now if you go up on the top, there's nothing up there. All the bluebells grow on the side of the hill. Now usually this is where I take my bike, so I'll come up here over the top, or I go round the path. So today we're going to go round the path where I usually take my mountain bike or gravel bike. Now we're going to take this path. This goes around the outside. It is very blowy, so I apologise for the sound quality. Well, I don't know until I get back to my computer and see it, but this particular bit of trail here is often used by mountain bikers and bikers because it's an old trail from years ago. I mean, I used to come round here when I was, what, about 10-year-old, something like that. In fact, Granny used to bring me round here as well. Just nice. It's just, apart from the wind, it's actually quite a nice day today. So when you're coming up here, you want to make sure you get a nice day, really, like this. And there's Smallpox Hill from this side. And as we're walking along here now, we're going to come across a nice, beautiful area of sheds and sheds of bluebells. Now, the reason I come today is for this reason, because if you leave it too long, they'll be gone. Because like everything else, things go over very fast. What a beautiful sight for seeing bluebells. Absolutely stunning. There's one thing about coming on one of these little walks, is the amount of nature you see. I just can't believe it. I'm just so happy that I live in a wonderful place like this. And everything is on the doorstep. And there's all your bluebells, guys. I'm just amazed how many bluebells there are here. They're all over, everywhere. You've got to come and see it to believe it. It is a short window because they're going to be dying off any day soon now. They're already starting to limp off looking at them. I mean, once they get battered with wind, that's about the stretch of it. That's why I come up today, because I had a feeling if I leave it another 2 or 3 days, they'll disappear. So that is the side of the long down. Now, I'm not going to venture up the top of the long down today. I'll do that in another video because there's so much about the long down that you need to know. So it's like a lot of things. There's so many bits and pieces I can show you, but you'd never get it all into the same video. It will take a lot longer to sort of complete. I could end up doing 4 or 5 hours of it, but it's not going to be that interesting if I don't sort of keep you entertained a bit. So where we are now, this is the path up to the long down. So this goes straight up and over the top. And today it's so blowy up there, it's no point me taking a camera and a video because it's just going to be a waste of time. And that goes right up over the top, and where we came in over the stile, that also goes from that stile up over the top. Again, a really great for bikes or walking. Now what we're going to do now, we're going to walk down here and we're going to drop down again onto the side. Now an interesting thing about Cam Peak and the long down, it used to be a shooting range years ago, and on top of Cam Peak there's actually a metal like stile type thing actually in the middle. Now this was originally up there for one reason only. It had a red flag, so when they were shooting, obviously this has gone back a long time ago, you know, not too far historic wise, but a very long time ago. So I think we'll go up and have a look anyway. Maybe I'll just do some photos, and because it's so windy, I'm not sure we're gonna get what I want out of this. Mind you, if you see the amount of bluebells on the side of the hill here, you just think, oh my god, you know, it's to die for. A bed of bluebells. It's just so many of them. Tell you what, we'll go around this way. Oh, it's just incredible, isn't it? You've got to make the most of this. Only happens once a year, doesn't it? So, and like I said, it's only a short window for them. And if you haven't actually been up here, at least you're going to see it in video. I mean, again, you can take your bikes or walk, whatever you want to do really. The place is just covered. And there's another path down the bottom here you can follow all the way round, and that's a really nice pretty walk round. And again, where we did in part one, over there is actually a route down back to where we started from originally the other day. Just look at that. Oh. And of course, because these bluebells haven't been hit by the weather, and also they're still damp because the ground's damp, they're staying really nice. Oh, just look at it. Now I think we've had enough bluebells for now. My eyes are starting to see bluebells everywhere. I'll be sleeping at night with bluebells in my eyes. But this is what's nice about this area, it's just everywhere. This time of year, you've got to come out to see it. And like I previously said, it is a very short window for bluebells. And now we're coming to the bottom end of the Cam Peak. Now, interesting enough, about Cam Peak, when we were kids, we used to think it was a volcano, because you know what us kids are like when you know how small we are. See a mountain like that, and at the top it's sort of shaped like a volcano. Well, this part of the wood now below Cam Peak, it's very old. Now down here is where the horses go. Funny enough, when we were kids, this is where we used to play. So it used to play cowboys and Indians. That's what us boys do. And Granny, well, she's the chief, you know, so she used to take us up here and we used to run riot with Granny. And we used to come along here and we'd jump out on her. Because the thing is, it was like the old cowboy films. I know if you are old enough to remember this, you're as old as I am. Cowboys and Indians. There used to be a lot of feature films back in the old days, whereas you're on the horses. And I had a little kit. I don't know if you remember the TV series or an advert where there's a little guy who dressed up with little glasses doing the Milky Bar Kid advert. Well, we used to be dressed like that. This is going back years ago. I have our guns and we used to play round here, and this would be the area. Granny be walking up here and we'd jump out on her. Nothing's changed much. The only difference is it looks a long way down now. Now, the part of the path we're on now, we actually can go straight down into Dursley or Cam from here. So the footpath will go straight down, or you can loop round to the car park. So Cam Peak and the Long Down has got its own little car park. We'll go over there and then you can see where it is. I think you can see the post over there. You follow that and it actually takes you down to Dursley. Oh, and in front of me, I'm not going to say you're going to see this on the camera, but I can see Wales right in front of me. And Dursley's over here. And there's Cam over here. The question is, shall I venture up Cam Peak? This is the question. In my condition, I'm thinking about it. There's Dursley and all the new houses, and that's Stinchcombe Hill across the top. Now, this is cows. Now, one of the places we used to come when we were kids we used to come up this path here and venture straight up to Cam Peak. So I think we're going to have to do that, aren't we? You wouldn't see this in a built-up area, would you? Look, he's after lunch. He's after lunch. Look, he thinks I'm the farmer. See? I've got a natural scent for cows. They're after lunch. You need to go over there, boys. Can you, I tell you wouldn't believe it, would you? This is my life all over. This is all I can attract. Shall I go through? Oh, yes, they're just moving. So what I'm going to do now, just to please you guys, I'm going to go up there. And that is some distance. I will be turning the video off because I don't want you to see me out of breath. I still think it's funny with the cows though. They're fine, they're looking after themselves. And they spend most of their time eating food. Look, they're eating the Bluebells anyway. So they got lunch. When I was a kid, this was like climbing a volcano because it's the shape. And what you don't know about Cam Peak, this is man-made. It's not a natural hill. So for some reason, somebody, these days it's called fly tipping. So, but in their day, going back years and years ago, there's footage of this area in photographs, flat. And no Cam Peak. So back in the old days, for some reason, I don't know how far it goes back, it's a long time, they would put all their rubbish up here. And apparently if you dig deep enough, this is just rubbish. It's just a rubbish pit. So I've been told. But you know how the old stories go. This has been passed down from generation to generation. And this is what they'll turn around and tell you. That this used to be a tip. And I believe it. But the interesting part about Camp Peak, this is where they stuck their flag. So when they're shooting, I guess this is going back to the TA, and maybe before the Second World War, there has been some medieval finds on the Longdown. So it is possible that this is what you'll find up on the Longdown. And here, well, so obviously there's topsoil on it because the grass is growing. But I got a job to believe it was a tip, because it does look as though it's natural, and from everywhere around it looks perfect. But the thing is, in the old days things may not have been quite the same as they were today, by a long shot. Well, there you go, guys. It was really great to make a video like that. I enjoyed it, and especially at this time of year where you could see all those beautiful bluebells on the Longdown and on Camp Peak. Please subscribe and please share, and we'll see you again very shortly on the Crazy Baker channel. And keep your eyes open for part 4, Walking the Cotswold Way. Laters! This is the Crazy Baker channel. Baking, lifestyle, recipes, reviews, I am the Crazy Baker. Please subscribe and please share. Laters!